Nation's capital, where today the Washington Redskins play host to the Houston Texans. Ian Eagle along with the weather here in Landover, Maryland. 85 degrees, absolutely gorgeous. Mostly sunny skies the rest of the afternoon. Washington has won the toss. Neil Rackers will kick it off for Houston. Both of these teams are 1-0. Houston coming off the 34-24 win over Indianapolis. Devin Thomas is the deep man for the Redskins. They had a 13-7 victory over Dallas last week. No offensive touchdowns, though, for Washington. We're underway from FedEx Field. Rackers on the kickoff, and Thomas will take a knee. The Redskins will have it at the 20-yard line. Still have to get used to the idea of Donovan McNabb not wearing a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. He leads this Washington offense, Dan.
Yeah, and according to tight end Chris Cooley, it's McNabb's confident demeanor that has made a huge difference in the level of confidence the team has. The Redskins say they expected to beat Dallas last week. They have the same expectations this week against Houston. We'll see about that. They've got to get this offense on track, though.
Still in the West Coast system, but Donovan told us new concepts, new teammates, just a change in mindset with a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Mike Sellers in front of Clinton Portis to open up. On 1st down, fake the handoff. McNabb throwing and makes the connection to Sellers, the fullback, going airborne out across the 40-yard line, and a big gainer on the first play from scrimmage as he jumped over Kareem Jackson. 23 yards on the catch and run.
This is one way to get the passing game going. Hit your reliable fullback, Mike Sellers, first catch of the year. It's a big one on 1st down. Little play action, didn't really fool a lot of people.
And the Redskins with a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And McNabb on time as he hits Santana Moss, spins his way into Houston territory. 13-yard pickup. Right now we head to New York. NFL Today update and JB.
Ian and Dan. Steelers at Titans. Tennessee 4th down. Kerry Collins in for the ineffective Vince Young. As opposed to going to the end zone, dumps it off to Chris Johnson. That ends the game, and Pittsburgh holds on for the 8-point win. They move the Steelers to 2-0. Back to Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts.
So without Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers 2-0, getting the victory on the road. Handoff to Clinton Portis. And Portis bulldozing his way for a 2-yard gain. Xavier Adibi, the linebacker, making the stop for Houston.
The Redskins saw how many yards that the Texans gave up to Peyton Manning last week. Come out 2 straight pass completions from McNabb, and that has got the ball now in Houston territory. Good start so far for the Skins.
Mike Shanahan told us that McNabb, he sees it all laid out for him. Now it's just a question of the timing within this offense and getting used to his teammates. A 3-receiver set, and the motion man is Anthony Armstrong. Little floater to Santana Moss, creating after the catch. And Santana Moss has got a 1st down. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts here in Landover, Maryland. Washington and Houston just underway, no score. The Redskins driving, very effective on offense to open things up.
And the big thing that McNabb is getting great protection. That time is just a quick little slant route, and no Texan anywhere near him. Good matchup we're going to be looking for today is the rookie Trent Williams blocking on Mario Williams on that weak side, blind side for McNabb.
And a terrific block on that last play by Trent Williams to help spring Santana Moss loose. Fake the handoff. McNabb throwing, releasing out of the backfield. It's Sellers again. 2nd catch on this opening drive. Bernard Pollard drags him down. It's a 10-yard pickup for the big fullback.
Very similar to the first play of the game. A little flat route by the fullback. Sellers has such great hands. He reaches down below his waist to make that catch, and then has the strength, size, and the speed to get to that 1st down marker, dragging Bernard Pollard for a 1st down for the Skins.
Sellers is known as the Tank. His nickname used to be Gravy Boat, which I happen to prefer of the two. New set of downs. Portis unable to break free of Jesse Nading. And Nading seeing a lot of time because of the injury to Connor Barwin. Let's take a look at the Washington starting lineup There is Trent Williams, the rookie out of Oklahoma, number 4 pick overall. Remember, Chris Samuels used to be there, 6-time Pro Bowler, retired after 9.5 years. Backs and receivers, Chris Cooley. He's talked about the chemistry that he's already felt with Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, he says he wants to be McNabb's go-to guy, his outlet guy, his every down guy. And with Cooley's talents, that's a good idea for McNabb to look his way.
And the 7th play of the drive for Washington. Impressive opening here for the Redskins. McNabb, plenty of time. Sets it up for Sellers once again, and this time he took a shot from Zach Dials, the linebacker, now in his 4th year from Kansas State. As we take a look at the Houston defense, Amobi Okoye not 100%, dealing with an ankle injury this week in practice, but he is in there. Earl Mitchell will see time as well, rookie out of Arizona. Brian Cushing out with a 4-game suspension, violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing drugs. So Adibi, local product out of Hampton, Virginia, gets the start. And in that secondary, it's Pollard who makes things happen. He's the former Kansas City Chief and former 2nd-round pick out of Purdue. Nickel package, Bryce McCain is in there. Short throw for Santana Moss, and this time Houston was completely prepared for it. They've gone to the well a few times there. No gain on the play as Jackson makes that stop for the Texans.
And Jackson, the number 1 pick out of Alabama, one of the very inexperienced defensive backs. In fact, all the corners for Houston are in either their 2nd year or their rookie year, and you can see the mindset of the Redskins with the passing game so far from McNabb attacking that young secondary.
Former UFL kicker Graham Gano on for a 42-yard field goal attempt. Nick Sundberg will snap it. Josh Bidwell the holder. Washington trying to get on the board from 42 yards away. Gano has got it. Redskins with a 3-0 lead. 9:37 mark of this first quarter. 9 plays, 57 yards, and Gano connects to put Washington in front. On that opening drive, Donovan McNabb, 6 of 6, 55 yards, short passing game, Dan. That was the focus.
Well, he was not knocked down. He wasn't pressured at all, and that's the focus. They're trying to keep Mario Williams and Antonio Smith away from the quarterback, and they're doing it very effectively on that first drive.
Graham Gano kicks off. Dangerous Steve Slayton walking a tightrope, and he's out of bounds at the 1. Oh, what a mistake.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen this before on a kickoff. Let this go. It's either out of bounds or it's out of the end zone. But it's at the 1 now.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
It has been a fantastic weekend here in the D.C. area, Jefferson Memorial. Steve Slayton, the former starter at running back. Just his 2nd career kick return, and it certainly looked like it.
And perhaps his last.
Houston takes over the ball at the 1. Shaw, play action, throwing, and he's got his man, Kevin Walter, over the middle, and a first down. Houston's got breathing room on the 24-yard pass and catch.
You got to love the play selection by Rick Dennison, the offensive coordinator. Little play action to the guy that gained 231 yards last week against Indy, and finding Walter right in the dead zone in front of the safeties and gets them out of that precarious position at the 1-yard line.
Now Walter's been a dependable possession receiver for this Houston squad. Empty backfield now. Remember, last week it was the power running game, but we know what this Houston offense is capable of through the air. Schaub out of the gun. On the sideline route for David Anderson. Anderson trying to fight for extra yardage, and he only picked up a yard on the play. Andre Carter there defensively. Matt Schaub, last week, Dan, 17 pass attempts, connected on 9 of them for 107 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, but they got the win. Schaub was thrilled with the offensive performance because of what they did on the ground.
Yeah, and in talking to his former offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, he says, He loves the way that Schaub never looks at the pass rush. Instead, he feels where the pressure's coming from, moves in the pocket, keeps his focus down the field on his receivers, especially number 80, Andre Johnson.
And a jumbo formation with 3 tight ends. Arian Foster single setback. Good block by Foster. Schaub throwing, and it's intercepted. Carlos Rogers has got it for Washington. Houston turns it over.
Schaub just a little bit late with this curl route to his receiver. And D'Angelo Hall with just great anticipation. Check that, Carlos Rogers steps in front, bobbles the ball, but keeps his focus on it and picks it off and gives the Redskins huge momentum here to begin this ball game. Pressure there, trying to get the ball to the tight end, Owen Daniels. But when you get pressure on the quarterback like this, as the Redskins are doing, LaRon Landry with the big hit, he should get a high five from Carlos Rogers.
There was an illegal block in the back. Our referee, Jeff Triplett. Rogers gets his first pick since 08. So they'll back it up now to the 43-yard line of Houston. Washington takes over with a 3-0 lead, just under 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. Matt Schaub and Gary Kubiak having a chat along that Houston sideline.
Amazing. Houston coming out, throwing the ball 4 straight times.
On a 1st and 10, McNabb faked the handoff. Little bootleg, McNabb throwing, wide open, Chris Cooley. Bang down inside the 10. And this Washington offense is clicking.
Here's Cooley on a deep corner route. He is wide open. Again, McNabb with no pressure at all. Look at the double move from the tight end. Not many tight ends have that skill that far down in the secondary. Cooley with a huge play for the Skins. Takes the ball inside the 10.
1st and goal for Washington. Double tight end set with Cooley and Davis. Handoff. Portis has nowhere to go. Antonio Smith leading that charge for the Texans. It's a loss of 3 on the play for Clinton Portis. There you see 3rd stringer Matt Leinart, signed after he was let go by the Arizona Cardinals. The Houston Texans defense in a tough position right now, and it was all set up after that Steve Slayton miscue, stepping out of bounds on the kick return at the 1. Washington doesn't make a lot of mistakes in the red zone. 31 straight possessions without a turnover. Lichtensteiger is in there at left guard. Another opportunity for Portis. And he is spun down after the gain of 2. Mario Williams and Kareem Jackson collaborate to bring down Portis.
Redskins still having trouble getting their running game going. They got to feel really good about their passing game. The pass protection has been just superb so far for McNabb. And he's really paid it off, being right on target.
Dan, last week, Washington beat Dallas, but they were outgained 380 to 250. They won the game without scoring an offensive touchdown on 3rd and goal. McNabb throwing, incomplete. He was trying to hit Clinton Portis. And the first incompletion for McNabb was now 7 of 8. And the Redskins have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, interesting call by the Redskins. I'm not sure if Portis makes his catch as he comes out of the backfield that he's going to get to the end zone. Zone coverage by the Houston Texans. You can see them all looking at McNabb. Ball thrown a little bit high by Donovan, right through the hands of Portis.
And a short field goal try now for Graham Gano out of Florida State. 27 yards away, and Gano splits the uprights. 6-0 lead for Washington, set up by the interception by Rogers. 6-0 Washington in front of Houston. We welcome you back to FedEx Field. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts A lot of fireworks early in this game, and if you're Houston, you actually have to feel pretty good that you're only down 6-0, right?
After Cooley takes that ball inside the 10, the Redskins run the ball twice and then throw an incomplete pass. So being down only 6 now is a win, as you said, Ian, for Houston, because they feel that, hey, a lot of time left, only down 6-0.
And quite a departure from last week for Washington. Didn't really get the passing game going last week. Early on, we've seen some signs of it.
Well, McNabb has been red hot. He completed 7 in a row before that incomplete pass to Portis.
Steve Slayton is deep once again. He gets another opportunity. The kick from Graham Gano. Slayton on the return. And Slayton runs into a wall as he crossed the 20-yard line, a 19-yard return. One of the most colorful venues in the NFL. From Washington, D.C., the Redskins lead the Texans 6-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Capital One Venture Card. What's in your wallet? And by Toyota.
Washington with a 6-0 lead. Houston takes over with a 1st and 10 just short of the 25-yard line. Handoff. Arian Foster busting it to the outside. And Foster able to get the angle there to pick up 3.5 yards on the play. Is your fantasy football site letting you down? There's still time to upgrade to the award-winning Fantasy Football Commissioner. Get a special offer and help moving your league at cbssports.com/upgrade. No Albert Haynesworth today. He is inactive for the Washington Redskins. Haynesworth injured his ankle in practice this week, and Haynesworth is scratched. 2nd and 6 for the Texans. Fake the handoff to Foster. Schaub has plenty of time, and he gets his man Andre Johnson over the middle and across the 45-yard line. It's an 18-yard pickup coverage there from the safety LaRon Landry. Offensively for the Houston Texans, one of the best passing teams in the NFL last year, but they couldn't run the football. They've got big Dwayne Brown at that left tackle. He's a local guy, Richmond, Virginia. 50 friends and family members at the game here today. And backs and receivers, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Arian Foster. 231 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 191 yards in the second half last week. Quick toss to Kevin Walter, who turns it upfield. And Walter is hit by Orakpo. It's a 3.5-4 yard gain depending on the spot. The Washington defense, no Haynesworth. Maake Kimoyatu gets the start as nose tackle. The former Baltimore Raven, Carolina Panther. Linebackers, Brian Orakpo. He is an emerging star. Pro Bowl last year, big game last week against Dallas. And in the secondary, D'Angelo Hall had that game-changing play at the end of the second quarter last week. Fumble recovery and a touchdown, the first of his career. Give is to Foster. And Foster slicing his way for a good gain. Short of the first down, London Fletcher will be given credit for the stop. Right now, we check out this week's Fouts Focus.
Well, just who is this overnight sensation anyway? Arian Foster was a star running back at Tennessee, and yet he went undrafted. He signed as a free agent with the Texans, only to be on the practice squad for 9 weeks last season. He majored in philosophy at Knoxville, writes poetry, averaged 7 yards a carry last week in the Texas big win over Indy. Quirky, maybe. Effective, definitely.
Right now they need him to get 2 yards or more, and he does. Out across the 45-yard line. New set of downs for Houston to work with. They needed 2. He picked up 3. Foster, when we talked to him yesterday, said, hey, I don't feel like an overnight sensation. I just had a good game. It's others that are making a big deal out of it.
Well, it was a big deal. 231 yards is a big deal. And you watch his style. He's a taller running back. He's a slasher. It's that one step in the ground and then go upfield, and that's what he does very, very well.
He's perfect for the Mike Shanahan/Gary Kubiak system. We'll talk about their connection in a moment. Handoff, it is Slayton getting an opportunity for a 5-yard gain for Houston.
And part of that system, Ian, is just zone blocking by the offensive line. They run to the outside. Once they see an opposite jersey, they block it regardless of who it is, and then they give the running back his choice of holes. And that time with Slayton's speed, you can see a little bit difference when he's got the ball. He's trying to get to the outside, whereas Foster will cut and try to take it back up inside.
There's so many connections here. Kyle Shanahan coached under Gary Kubiak. Kubiak coached under Mike Shanahan. Schaub throwing, soft toss to Andre Johnson. And Johnson by himself until the Redskins were finally able to range over there. It's a 14-yard gain for Andre Johnson. And Johnson has now gone over 8,000 yards in his career.
And has 68 straight games with a reception, 2 so far on this drive. And he thinks he got into the end zone. He didn't think he was down at the end of this play. The whistle never really blew until he was in the end zone. No, he's definitely down. I'm not sure what he was thinking about.
8th play of the drive. Andre Johnson, 7th quickest all-time to 8,000 in NFL history. Just short of the 25-yard line. Oh, he sold it on the bootleg. Schaub throwing. And he's got Owen Daniels. Daniels back in action. He went to the Pro Bowl in 2008, but last year the torn ACL, which occurred in Week 8. And Gary Kubiak said, look, he's not 100% yet. He's not quite ready for the full plate. He wants to be out there every play, but it's not realistic right now.
Well, not coming back from that type of injury. He had 40 snaps last week, maybe 10 more than Kubiak wanted, but he bailed his quarterback out that time, finding a dead spot in that zone.
Houston moving down the football field with ease. Under a minute to go in this first quarter. Washington with a 6-0 lead. Foster back in there. He's got a hole. Arian Foster spun down at the 5-yard line by Reed Doughty. 11-yard rip by Foster.
Well, this is what we're talking about. Watch the one step and then the cut back to the weak side here. As he comes out here, Leach leads up inside, but great vision by Foster. Saw the hole over the right tackle there. Got behind Eric Winston here as the right side of the line caves it in. Big play for Foster.
And a 1st and goal for Houston at the 5. Handoff, Foster again. This time he stood up by LaRon Landry, who had 17 tackles last week in the victory over Dallas. No gain on the play, and it will be the final play of this opening quarter. Quick first quarter here in Landover. Washington with a 6-0 lead over the Houston Texans, but the Texans are threatening. We'll have second quarter action coming up. It's week 2, the NFL on CBS.
Watching the NFL on CBS.
Third ever meeting between the Redskins and the Texans. Washington 2-0 against Houston. We welcome you back to Landover, Maryland, FedEx Field. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. Washington with a 6-0 lead, but Houston's got the football. A 2nd and goal from the 5 to start this second quarter. Fake the handoff to Foster. Schaub throws wide open. Jacoby Jones. Touchdown, Houston. Matt Schaub. Impressive on that drive. He was 5 for 5, and Houston an extra point away from taking the lead.
And again, it's a play action. Watch the fake to Foster to the right side. The Redskins bite on it, and then they get no pressure at all on Schaub. It's been a quarterback's field day so far today. McNabb's had great protection, and now Schaub is getting that great protection as well.
So Matt Schaub connects with Jacoby Jones, the Division II product out of Lane College. 11 plays, 77 yards. Neil Racker's on for the extra point. Houston with a 7-6 lead over Washington. We're just underway in the second quarter, and a long drive by Schaub and the Texans to take the lead.
5-yard touchdown pass from Matt Schaub to Jacoby Jones. Miscommunication in the secondary as Carlos Rogers looking for help from his safety. LaRon Landry does not cover his man on the inside slot. Jones with an easy catch for the score.
And Houston now kicking it off with Neil Rackers, Devin Thomas, and Byron Westbrook are deep. This will be Thomas from the 3 for Washington. Thomas with a stutter step out across the 25-yard line and just short of the 30. Kevin Bentley making the play on special teams. Jacoby Jones growing as a receiver, already an accomplished return man. Early stages, second quarter, we talked to Mario Williams, asked him about going up against Donovan McNabb. He said, look, you've got to run through him and wrap him up to bring him down. There's no arm sacks when it comes to Donovan McNabb, who is 6'2", 240 pounds himself. Washington, 1st and 10, a little bit of chicanery here. And McNabb throwing, deep ball, Joey Galloway's got it! Brought down at the 10 by the rookie Kareem Jackson. That's a 16-year veteran going against a first-year NFL player, 63 yards.
His 690th catch of his great career. And McNabb with time to throw. He shows he's still got the big arm. Galloway still has the big speed to get behind the younger Kareem Jackson. Welcome to the NFL, Kareem Jackson.
The rookie out of Alabama. He just got beat by the veteran Galloway. They mark the football officially at the 11, so a 62-yard reception. Washington trails by 1. McNabb throwing. Incomplete in the direction of Mike Sellers.
Sellers would have needed an oven mitt to make that catch. Ooh, that one was coming hard. And McNabb chuckling about it a little bit. Sellers isn't. His fingers are still burning.
Mike Sellers, Pro Bowler in 2008, now in his 11th year in the NFL, and seeing a lot of action in this first half. McNabb trusting his fullback.
Well, he's got 3 catches for 33 yards and a singed pinky finger.
Derek Dockery is back in at left guard. Mike Shanahan will rotate Corey Lichtensteiger, who he had in Denver, and Dockery on that offensive line. McNabb straight back. They handle the rush. McNabb throwing. Short of the goal line. It's Santana Moss.
And that's the thing about McNabb, is he's getting comfortable with his receivers, and he is not afraid to let them make a play. Moss is well covered on this play here by Kareem Jackson. Can't cover much better. Super catches. Moss leaned back into the defensive back, but look at this throw by McNabb. No way that Jackson could react. And the ball's at the 1.
And it is enough for a first down, a 1st and goal at the 1. 6 offensive linemen now for Washington. Lichtensteiger, the extra lineman. Cooley, the motion man. Washington trying to take the lead here. And Sellers tripped up. Mike Sellers. And he comes up short.
Sellers just has 3 rushing touchdowns in his career. 18 touchdown receptions. That's great penetration by the middle of that defensive line. Sean Cody went real low that time. Got in there, took the legs out from under Sellers before Sellers could get airborne.
We are in the second quarter, and Washington does not have a rushing yard. 2nd and goal. Give it to Portis. Portis is in. Touchdown, Washington. Big play to Galloway. The Redskins regain the lead.
6 rushes now for the Redskins. 1 yard and 6 points more. Just caving in that right side. Fred Davis, the tight end, is there. Big number 74. Stephon Higher with a key block.
So Clinton Portis knifes his way for a touchdown. Washington with Graham Gano out there to add the extra point. High snap handled by the punter Bidwell. And the Redskins with the lead. 13-7 Washington, 5 plays, 73 yards. They're back in front.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Turn here. Robin Hood. Own the unrated director's cut on Blu-ray and DVD September 21st. And by Outback Steakhouse. It's always fresh in the Outback.
Welcome back here in the Washington, D.C. area. Clinton Portis with a 1-yard touchdown. First rushing yard of the day for the Redskins. 5 plays, it covered 73 yards, and it was fast. 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Graham Gano kicking off for the Redskins. Steve Slayton will take it from the 1 for Houston. And Slayton running into a crowd as he crosses the 20-yard line. Flag thrown on the play. 19-yard return for Slayton.
And this will back up the Texans back to the 10-yard line, or maybe even farther.
Only 1 penalty so far. It was called against Washington, and it was on the return after the interception by Rodgers. Here's Jeff Triplett.
During the return, personal foul. Low block into the wedge. Number 45 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Mike Sellers coming down, and this is a safety issue now. The NFL is stressing less dangerous collisions on that kickoff with the wedge.
Honor, justice, and family. It's in their blood. Tom Selleck leads an all-star cast in Blue Bloods. It premieres Friday, only CBS. So Texans have it at the 36-yard line. Second penalty against Washington. Rush coming, and Schaub is a dead duck. Adam Carricker providing the initial pressure. The former St. Louis Ram acquired in a trade. He missed 2009 with a shoulder injury. The number 13 pick overall back in the 2007 draft out of Nebraska.
Here he is right here with his hand on the ground. Nobody blocks number 94. He has a free run at the quarterback. Looked like Dreesen was confused as to whether he should block Carricker or Alexander on the outside. Didn't block either of them.
On a 2nd and 14 now for Houston. They'll spread it out with Schaub out of the gun. Washington comes with pressure. Schaub on a crossing route. Andre Johnson. He took a hard shot as 3 Redskins came over, including LaRon Landry. It's an 8-yard gain.
That's his 3rd catch of the afternoon against the Redskins. This guy is the best in the game. And Gary Kubiak, who worked early in his career with the San Francisco 49ers, told us yesterday he compared him to Jerry Rice in his work ethic and how hard he plays, not only on Sundays, but during practice as well. So it's a great example for these other young receivers.
And he said he is the rock of this team. He's been here the longest. Drafted first round back in 03. Schaub, heavy pressure again, and he throws it away. And Andre Carter supplied the heat. Washington and Shanahan want to know, who was he throwing it to?
4th down.
I think Triplett said he may have been out of the tackle box there, and so he could throw the ball away, but did the ball reach the line of scrimmage? That may be what Shanahan is complaining about. But he knows his offense is going to get the ball back. Now, right about here, he is far enough out, but where does the ball land? That's the question Shanahan wants to know.
It landed near Shanahan. Matt Turk, former Washington Redskin, punting for the first time. Philip Buchanan. And fair catch. He got tripped up by his own man at the 15-yard line. Will not be a penalty on that play. 44-yard punt. Washington with a 6-point lead. Strong start for the Washington Redskins. Field goal, touchdown. First 3 possessions, 13-7 lead for Washington. 10:51 to go, first half. Double tight end set with Cooley and Davis. Portis single setback. They're going to throw it again. McNabb on a sideline route for Santana Moss. And the 10-year veteran, covered by Glover Quinn, out along the perimeter. It's not too late to play NFL.com's all-new fantasy football game. The first and only game with video. It's free and it's easy to play. Sign up today at NFL.com/fantasy. So far for the Washington Redskins, 12 passing plays, 6 rushes. They have 1 yard rushing. And they've got a 13-7 lead. 2nd and 4 now for Washington. Another quick toss. That's Santana Moss. Tiptoes out of bounds. He's got a first down for the Redskins. And that one covers 9 yards on the catch and run.
You got to love the game plan for the Redskins. A lot of quick passes. McNabb has not been hurried at all. It's either been this type of throw or play action where he's got maximum protection. Last week against Indianapolis, the Texans were able to get all over Peyton Manning, make him move in the pocket, knock him down. They sacked him a couple of times. Right now, it's a mystery why they can't get anywhere near Donovan McNabb.
New set of downs for Washington. McNabb to the ground game. Big hole. And Portis able to shoot through it. Casey Robach with a key block to help spring him loose for 6 yards. To New York, NFL Today update and JB.
Ian and Dan. San Diego capitalizing on a David Garrard pick as Phillip Rivers connecting with the big fella Antonio Gates on 3rd and goal from the 9, capping a 5-play 30-yard drive. San Diego on top of Jacksonville 14-3. That in the second. Back to Ian and Dan.
And big storyline, JB, with San Diego. The holdout from Vincent Jackson. His suspension will be reduced to 4 games if he's traded by September 22nd. Washington is a possible destination as Portis gets the call for a 1-yard gain. And D'Amico Ryans' excellent play defensively for Houston.
McNabb so far 11 of 13 for 177. The big pass play was that bomb to Joey Galloway. But everybody involved. He told us he likes to spread it around. Right now, he's hit 5 different receivers.
And with the leadership and the experience of McNabb, in addition, Dan, just the credibility that McNabb brings to this team, along with Shanahan. Popped up in the air. Incomplete. Trying to make the connection to Joey Galloway. Kareem Jackson had tight coverage.
Yeah, give Kareem Jackson a lot of credit here. He stuck with Galloway on this short route and almost came away with the interception there. Watch his left hand get in there, knock the ball up in the air. Can't quite locate it in time. Galloway makes a valiant effort for the ball as well.
You know, it's interesting. Jackson is just a rookie. Week 1, the Houston Texans had the youngest starting lineup in the NFL. The Redskins in week 1 had the oldest starting lineup in the NFL. Jacoby Jones returning the Bidwell punt, and Jones is mauled. Lorenzo Alexander leading the special teams unit. 52-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
352 straight sellouts for the Washington Redskins, the 132nd consecutive here at FedEx Field. It's the largest venue in the NFL. Opened in 1997. Washington with a 13-7 lead, 8:15 mark of the second quarter, and the Texans have it a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Leach in front of Foster. Handoff, Arian Foster makes a cut, and Foster takes it upfield as he crosses the 30-yard line. Good block by Dwayne Brown, the 25-year-old left tackle. It's a 10-yard gain. This fall, don't miss the Big Bang's big move to Thursday. It's a new night, new time, same theory. The Big Bang Theory, it's Thursdays. This fall, only CBS.
Yeah, they had the Big Bang Theory working last week against Indy, and Foster with that first down run. It's like they got it going on the ground now for Houston.
Foster, originally from Albuquerque, then moved to San Diego during high school. Foster gets it again. Oh, great vision. Arian Foster waited for that hole to open up. Reed Dowdy had to make the play on that back line. It's a 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, he's the pride of Mission Bay High School in San Diego. You can see San Diego is better known maybe for throwing the ball, but look at these guys that have made it to the Hall of Fame. Marcus Allen won Super Bowls. Terrell Davis won Heisman's and given them back in Reggie Bush, and now Arian Foster.
What happened? Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Oops.
2nd and 3. Give is to Steve Slayton, and Slayton has got a first down. He left his feet to go airborne, and that left side of the line again, Dan, for Houston. Dwayne Brown and Wade Smith creating some extra space for Slayton.
But there's just not a whole lot of trickery when it comes to this running attack, whether it's Slayton or Foster. It's the offensive line moving in unison, and it's that old saying, getting a hat on a hat and letting the back pick where he wants to run the ball.
Dwayne Brown, who started his college career as a tight end, so you know the athleticism is there at left tackle out of Virginia Tech. Slayton again. Slayton used to be the featured back in this offense. LaRon Landry, first man there. It's a 2-yard gain. Slayton now in his 3rd year. Had the sophomore slump last year and had some fumbling concerns as well.
And sometimes running backs are too fast for their own good. You see the difference between Slayton and Foster. Slayton hits the hole quickly and it doesn't give the hole time enough to develop. Foster has shown great patience so far in his young career and great vision to let it develop and then get through it with a burst.
Smash mouth football last week led them to a 34-24 win over Indianapolis. They'll throw it. Shaw. Open man. They lost Andre Johnson. Little juke move into Washington territory and a first down for Houston.
There are some communication problems in the secondary, whether they're playing man or zone right now. How do you leave number 80 alone, let alone have 2 men or 3 men guarding him? But look how far in the open number 80 is. And then on the tackle, he's going to just take after a couple of guys. It looked like maybe a face mask here by Rodgers. Definitely had the side of his helmet. That should have been called a penalty.
We talked about the rotation at offensive line for Washington. Same for Houston. Mike Brizell is in at right guard for Antoine Caldwell. Bootleg. Shaw. Fake, trying to buy some time. Well done. Owen Daniels with a first down across the 25, and that's Matt Schaub extending the play, 15-yard hookup.
Yeah, and great job by Owen Daniels, OD as they like to call him. Watch him come across the field. Landry is in good coverage here, but as Schaub runs, he's looking for his tight end. Now his tight end's going to stop and just find an open area. Great play by Daniels. That's communication non-verbally with your quarterback.
Had 70 catches back in 2008 for 862 yards. Another first down for Houston. This time Arian Foster gets banged around behind the line of scrimmage by Adam Carricker. It'll go down as a loss of 2 for Foster and the Texans.
That's the second big play by Carricker. Here he is, number 94. Watch his quickness as he's going to again beat the block this time of Wade Smith and get Foster before Foster can get going.
8th play of the drive. 2nd and 12 for Houston. Washington with a 13-7 advantage. 3:45 to play. First half. Daniels goes in motion. Shaw. Pump. Throwing. Out to the sideline. Jacoby Jones is met quickly by Carlos Rogers. And not much there for the Texans. 3-yard gain.
Excellent play that time by Rogers. I'm not sure that was a good decision by Schaub to throw the ball out to a receiver pinned against the sidelines with a defensive back right on him. That ball isn't caught cleanly. It might go up in the air, and Rogers has a chance for his second pick.
A fast-moving first half. We're coming up on 3 minutes to go in this second quarter. Phillip Buchanan in as the nickel back for Washington. A 3rd and 9. Official runs on. We might have gotten a timeout, and we did.
Timeout. Houston, their first. Their 30-second timeout.
Houston Texans facing a 3rd and 9. Used their first timeout of this first half. See what they did last year. NFL ranked 26th in longer conversions.
One of the reasons this game is moving so quickly is the ball's not been on the ground. Not many incompletions so far. Schaub's 11 of 13. McNabb 11 of 14.
3rd and long for the Texans. Shotgun formation for Schaub. Protection. Breaks down. And Schaub is sacked back at the 30-yard line. LaRon Landry among those providing the pressure.
Landry is number 30. He's coming late on the bottom of the screen here. Does a great job of spinning away from the block right there of Mike Brizell. And Schaub saw that he had nothing down the field. By going down immediately, he sets up a very makeable field goal for Neil Rackers.
47-yarder for the 11-year veteran. Went to the Pro Bowl in 2005. Matt Turk, the punter, will hold it. From 47 yards away, oh, he missed it. Off to the right, Rackers. And the Texans come up empty, late stages, second quarter.
Yeah, that might be at the very difficult distance for Rackers. His career long is only 49 yards. Yeah, in the NFL, kickers nowadays have careers of 55, 57. Some guys are hitting at 60 yards. That one just kind of faded off to the right. Didn't quite get through it. It was a good snap and a good hold. And only 47 yards out, and it sails wide right.
Neil Rackers, who beat out an original Texan, Chris Brown, for the kicking job. And the Texans trail 13-7. Donovan McNabb will get another crack at this Houston defense. 2:19 to play. McNabb over 33,000 career passing yards. That's fourth among active players. Favre, Manning, and Collins ahead of him. McNabb throwing, and too far. Mike Sellers extending the arms, and McNabb had him.
Tough throw by McNabb, stepping up, throwing on the run, and a very difficult try for Sellers. Sellers having a big day catching the ball, but this one is about 6 inches too far for the 6'3", 268-pound fullback. Look at this effort, though.
Now look at all that space between him and the linebacker, Zach Dials, who actually has very good quickness.
I'm not sure that the game plan for Houston on defense was to look for number 45 that much.
Good point. McNabb off play action. He goes against the grain. Fred Davis in the clear. Penalty marker down. And Davis down the sideline. Out of bounds. Flag thrown at the 43-yard line. 62-yard pass play.
And I got to call holding against the Texans, so this will stand. Question is, did Davis get in the end zone?
Prior to the pass, holding. Number 25 of the defense. That penalty decline. That'll be the 2-minute warning.
How about the block by Clinton Portis that got Davis all the way to the 1?
2-minute warning. Washington at the 1. Big play, McNabb to Fred Davis. The question for the Redskins, was he in on this play?
Well, his right hand is going to land out of bounds, and so it's not, and it's no sense challenging. You're on the 1 yard anyway. Save your challenges for later.
Trying to extend the lead. First and goal for Washington. Handoff. Portis airborne. Didn't get there. D'Amico Ryans made sure of it.
Boy, he hit Portis in midair, and Portis, instead of thinking about getting in the end zone, had to think about just hanging on to the ball. Here's Ryans, 59, right in the middle. This is what a middle linebacker is supposed to do. Mirror the fullback, go up and meet the back before he gets there. Then you can see that hit jarred the ball loose momentarily from Portis.
Lichtensteiger is in. 6 offensive linemen. Second and goal for the Redskins. They try Portis again. Bangs his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. Another touchdown and another football for part of the Portis party.
Well, Portis got the key block on the big play to Fred Davis. Now he's going to run over Kevin Bentley to get into the end zone. Second touchdown of the day for Clinton Portis. Doesn't have a whole lot of yardage, but he's got a couple of scores.
9 carries, 10 yards for Portis. The 2 touchdowns, as you mentioned, Dan. Graham Gano now for the point after. 1:20 to play. First half, Washington has added to its lead, 20-7. Redskins. Don't forget, coming up, Sprint Halftime Report. James Brown and the gang for the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Washington Redskins last week had 250 total yards in their win over Dallas. They've got 249 in the first half here, and Donovan McNabb has done a masterful job running this offense.
239 yards of passing on 12 of 16. And the thing about it is, for Houston, you got to worry about your pass defense just a little bit. They gave up over 400 yards to Peyton Manning last week. McNabb has over half of that in the first half this week. Young secondary is just getting burned by the veteran quarterback and these Redskin receivers.
Graham Gano will kick it off for Washington. And Steve Slayton is the deep man once again, standing at his own goal line for Houston. Good kick by Gano. And Slayton couldn't even handle it initially. It's a touchback. Next Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS features Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram, the top-ranked Crimson Tide, against Ryan Mallett and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Impressive QB. It all starts with TIAA College Football Today, live at 3 Eastern here on CBS. So the Texans have a minute 20 to work with.
And they burned one timeout on their last drive, so they only have 2 timeouts to work with.
Going back to last year, they're riding a 5-game winning streak, which is the longest in franchise history. Schaub from the gun. Slings it over the middle. He's got Arian Foster. And Foster able to stay on his feet for a first down out near the 35-yard line. That covers 14 yards on the catch for Foster.
This is where the Texans can be really dangerous because of all the talent they have on the receiving end.
Washington crowds the line, under a minute to go. Schaub gets rid of it, throwing incomplete. Jacoby Jones, the intended receiver, and Reed Doughty drew the assignment, the safety out of Northern Colorado.
Yeah, Jim Haslett's defense, they love this type of situation. That time they brought a corner blitz. Carlos Rogers came on the blitz with a couple of other Redskins, and that left Doughty to guard the receiver Jones man-to-man. Ball thrown too far because of the pressure from Carlos Rogers.
Houston did allow 463 yards to the Colts last week. Texans outscored the Colts 34-24. In stride, Andre Johnson. He's got tremendous hands, and he's got a first down for the Texans with 46 seconds to play in this first half. That covers 10 yards. A timeout taken by Houston. We're coming back. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. James Brown and company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Just short of the 45-yard line. First and 10 for Houston. Texans have 1 timeout remaining. They trail 20-7. Schaub with a wobbly throw. It's handled by Kevin Walter. And Walter is ruled down after the 4-yard gain. Clock is moving down to 36 seconds and counting left in this first half.
How valuable is that timeout they had to use on offense earlier in this quarter?
Shotgun, 2nd and 6. And Schaub is dumped. Sacked by LaRon Landry. A big hitter in his 4th year out of LSU. That's the 3rd Washington sack of the day.
They love to load up one side with extra rushers. Haslett is a very aggressive defensive caller, and that time it paid off with a sack from Landry.
Only 9 seconds remaining in this first half. Washington with a 20-7 lead over Houston. Texans now facing a 3rd and 14, and Schaub has felt the pressure from this Redskins defense here today. Spread it out. 3rd and long. Schaub steps and throws, finds the open man. It's Jacoby Jones, but that'll do it for the first half. Schaub is able to pad the stats. They're out of timeouts, and they're out of time. End of the first half. Washington 20, Houston 7. We'll be back. Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Felt very comfortable here in D.C. after 11 years in Philadelphia. Arian Foster had the huge numbers week 1. He's been held in check so far, the Houston running back so far here in week 2. And the Redskins' ability to punch it in. 2 touchdowns for Clinton Portis. Just some of the storylines here in Landover, Maryland. Halftime, Washington leading Houston 20-7. Right now, let's take a look at the points of protection presented by Allstate.
Well, the Shanahan plan, whether it's Kyle or Mike, is working very well for quarterback Donovan McNabb. The pass protection has been great. No sacks, no knockdowns, no pressure at all from the Texans defensive line. And for Matt Schaub, he has been under pressure. The Redskins have used a number of blitzes. LaRon Landry, at the end of the first half here, he got the big sack there that took any momentum away from the Texans at the end of the first half.
Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouch. If there were any concerns after the week 1 victory over Dallas from the Washington side of things, it was just offensively, whether or not they would be able to get in sync. think they've answered that question, at least through the first half.
Well, they've answered it halfway because their passing game has been unstoppable, but you got to be concerned about the Redskins on the ground. Not much yardage so far.
Washington kicked it off to start playing the second half. Steve Slayton for Houston. And Slayton runs into his own man and comes up short of the 20-yard line. He's brought down at the 15. It's a 16-yard return. Matt Schaub and the Texans offense back on the field. First half numbers, the rushing yards, you just touched on it, Dan. Only 10 yards on the ground for Washington in the first half. Portis did have a pair of touchdown runs from the 1. The passing yards, though, Donovan McNabb, 239 yards passing. Last week, McNabb, 15 of 32, 171 yards against Dallas. First and 10 from the 15-yard line for Houston in a 13-point hole. Give is to Arian Foster, and Adam Carricker has had himself a whale of a day.
Well, I'm sure at halftime the Texans said, we're going to come out to start this second half just as we did last week against Indianapolis when we had about an 11-play, 12-play drive and ran the ball on 10 of those 12 plays. So the Redskins looking for the run, the stretch play by Foster, and they shut him down for no gain.
2nd and 9. Schaub, play fake. Oh, tight space. He's got Kevin Walter for a first down. Matt Schaub put it exactly where it had to be in a matchup with Reed Doughty.
Well, a lot of confidence in Kevin Walter by his quarterback because this is good coverage in the secondary. Doughty is right on the back of Walter, never could locate the ball. And you can see his frustration as he gets up off the ground.
First and 10 for Houston. Line of scrimmage is at the 37-yard line. Back to the ground game. Arian Foster's got blockers. And Foster spilled out as he crosses the 40 by Doughty. It's a 4-yard gain for Arian Foster. For those who didn't know his name prior to last week, they know his name now because of what he was able to accomplish in the victory over Indianapolis, Dan.
Well, the 231, most in team history. It's a short history, but still a lot. But it's most allowed by Indianapolis in their history, and they have an incredible history. So you can see he accomplished a great deal last week. Now what can he do this week?
And the second highest rushing total in the game for an undrafted free agent, Cookie Gilchrist for Buffalo in 1963. The most. Schaub, floater, great touch to Vontae Leach. And Leach takes a shot out along the sideline. Outstanding job there by Schaub.
Yeah, I think Schaub's getting tired of seeing LaRon Landry putting pressure on him that time. He just kept fading away from Landry, number 30 here. And then watch the touch here. That is spectacular as he got the ball over the head of Andre Carter. Carricker is on the chase. There's Landry as well. And Schaub just made an all-pro throw.
And Leach got stamped by Rocky McIntosh, the linebacker. Texans are on the move. First and 10 into Washington territory. Up the middle, Foster, spin move.
Now we talked about the lack of pressure on McNabb. Well, Schaub has had an outstanding day so far, 17 out of 20, but in that first half, he was under constant pressure from the Redskins. There's Carricker forcing him up inside that time. Here's Landry with a great spin move there. Good combination sack there, but you can see Landry coming on the safety blitz so far. Houston has no answers for number 30.
Matt Schaub did throw an interception early in this game. Washington last in the NFL last season in takeaways with 17. Slayton is in the game. Schaub throwing. And Matt Schaub able to thread the needle to Andre Johnson. He had double coverage there. There's so much confidence. Schaub to Johnson. Schaub just went on and on about Andre Johnson's ability, his work ethic, and really the most attractive reason why he wanted to come to Houston after the deal was made is because Andre Johnson, Dan, was on the roster.
Who wouldn't like to throw to number 80? You could see that the trust that Schaub had between those two defenders and the great hands of Johnson grabbing it before the hit came.
Well, they were close to a first down. Now they've got the first down. It's a 2-yard pickup. So Matt Schaub doing it himself and a new set of downs to work with.
You can see just how important this combination has been for the Houston Texans. Andre Johnson in just his 8th year out of Miami, the #1 pick back in 03, been to 4 Pro Bowls. You can see why.
101 catches last year, 1,569 yards. Premier receiver in the game. Foster with a head of steam, and he's tripped up. Foster tripped over his own man, Vontae Leach. Give him a gain of a half a yard on the play.
And give credit to D'Angelo Hall for coming in and getting low on Leach, which is a good idea because he's outweighed by 60 pounds. Leach, a great blocking fullback. Number 44 coming. Watch Hall get underneath, and that causes Foster to hit the turf.
Remember, Houston drafted Ben Tate, rookie out of Auburn, but placed on IR in the preseason with an ankle injury and fibula injury as well. 9th play of the drive, 2nd and 9 for Houston. Play action on the quick out for Andre Johnson. And Johnson hit by LaRon Landry. He has been all over the field, just like he was a week ago against Dallas. They limit him to a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, it looks like there may be more than just one number 30 out there. We're seeing put pressure on the quarterback. Now he's making plays on the perimeter. LaRon Landry, he's ready to punch a ticket all the way to Hawaii in the Pro Bowl if the Redskins don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Number 6 pick overall in the 2007 draft. We'll see if this Houston drive stalls or if they can keep it going. Dime package here for Washington. Chris Horton is in the game. Daniels goes in motion. 3rd and 7 from the gun. Pressure coming. Schaub throwing. Incomplete. Jacoby Jones with a diving attempt. Right now they're looking at a 47-yard field goal. Remember, Neil Rackers missed from 47 yards away.
And earlier I said his career long was 49. That's actually 55, so this is well within his range. But on his miss, he pushed it right. He was at almost the exact same spot on the field, the left hash mark. Let's see how he corrects on this attempt.
Dan, we're breaking some news here. Earlier this week, Rackers had a lot of pain. He passed a kidney stone.
Ouch.
Double ouch. 47-yard attempt. Rackers. And this time, he nails it. Houston draws closer, 20-10. Washington in front. Neil Rackers did convert on a 49-yard field goal last week in the victory over Indianapolis. Missed a 47-yarder earlier, makes the 47-yarder on this last drive. Matt Schaub, big numbers, 19 of 23, 210 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Washington with a 20-10 lead over Houston. Devin Thomas is the deep man. He'll take it out of the end zone for the Redskins. Thomas looking for some space out along the sideline, and a penalty marker thrown down. Only 2 penalties so far in this game, both against the Washington Redskins. That was a 30-yard return, and we'll see if it's coming back.
Probably. Mistake, too, bringing it out.
Illegal blocking it back. 47 of the return team. Half the distance of the goal, 1st down.
47 is Chris Cooley, called on the special teams penalty. Rackers, the 47-yard field goal to cut into the Washington lead. 10, Redskins leading the Houston Texans, and Washington pinned deep in its own territory after the penalty. On 1st down, McNabb throwing underneath, and it's Joey Galloway curling it upfield to pick up 7 yards. Find out why TV Guide calls Hawaii Five-0 fall's hottest new show and the coolest remake ever. Catch the wave. It premieres tomorrow, only CBS, and of course it's obligatory, Dan. I can't help myself. Book 'em Dano.
All right, McGarrett.
McGarrett?
Yes. Well, kind of. Work on your hair.
Need a little more height. 2nd and 3, movement there. Antonio Smith. This defensive line has been quiet, Dan.
Quiet. They've been non-existent.
False start. 75 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And Artis Hicks called on the false start, the starting right guard.
Yep, just a little flinch there by Artis Hicks, and that's a very costly 5. Moves the ball back inside the 10 after the quick pass to Galloway. Gave the Redskins a little breathing room.
So back it up for the Redskins. McNabb, short drop. and not in sync with Santana Moss. That ball may have been tipped.
Yeah, I think Mario Williams may have got a fingernail on that one, because Moss was open on the slant route. Looked like McNabb had it on target, and by Williams' reaction, you can almost guarantee that here he is, number 90. How can you miss him at 6'6"? Tough to get the ball over, and with his long arms, tough to get the ball around him. Yep, right hand on the ball. Almost picked off there by Glover Quinn. He would have walked into the end zone.
On a 3rd and 8 now, Keelan Williams, rookie out of LSU, is in the game. Pump fake. McNabb throwing on the move. He's got Santana Moss. Moss diving out across the 20-yard line. And a first down. He made a man miss, the linebacker Zach Dials. It's an 11-yard pickup.
Great protection for McNabb. This is a deep drop back. Mario Williams working against the rookie Trent Williams, goes to the inside, gets picked up there by Lichtensteiger. And then how about this move by Santana Moss? Great move on the linebacker there. Knows what he needs for the first down, dives and gets it.
Fresh set of downs for Washington with 7:28 to go in this 3rd quarter. Play clock winding down. McNabb is sacked. First time it's Mario Williams.
Now we've seen him line up on the right side. That time he went over to the left side to work on Jamal Brown. And that's his first sack of the afternoon. Watch him go right around number 77 here. He's got those great arms to get leverage, then the speed to close on the quarterback. And that's just what the Texans need. Pressure on number 5. Remember, McNabb is dealing with a bad left ankle. And every time he goes down just like that, you know he's feeling it.
Loss of 7 on the play. Williams last week had 2 half sacks against Indy. Deep drop. McNabb throwing. A lot of cushion there for Keelan Williams to work with. He won a national championship with LSU in 2007. Quinn and Dials combined to bring him down. It's a 7-yard pickup.
This time it's Mario Williams against Trent Williams, the number 1 pick out of Alabama for the Redskins. And he's been tutored very well by Chris Samuels, the former All-Pro for the Redskins, played the same position, and has really helped out the young Trent Williams.
Trent Williams ran a 4.840, which is pretty ridiculous for a starting left tackle in the NFL. On a 3rd and 10 now. McNabb. It's caught. Anthony Armstrong. What a story this young man is. Played in the Intense Football League with the Odessa Roughnecks. Also in the Arena League, a number of practice squads, Division II product. A 20-yard gain out of West Texas A&M.
Oh, great catch. McNabb is just going to squeeze it into this deep zone here. Ryans goes flying by, but Armstrong with great concentration bobbled it and then grabbed it. 7 different receivers now for McNabb.
And he has emerged as the number 3 receiver for this Washington team. Larry Johnson getting an opportunity. Johnson slowed down and is able to spin it upfield for a couple. Pro Bowler in 2005 and 2006. 2006, he had nearly 1,800 yards rushing and 17 touchdowns. Give him a gain of 3 on the play.
And this, if they can get Larry Johnson and Clinton Portis both cranked up and get this running attack going, this is a heck of a 1-2 punch. A lot of experience, a lot of yards, and it would really take some pressure off McNabb.
So Washington on the move, couple of big 3rd down conversions for the Redskins. And this is a 2nd and 7. Johnson remains in the game. McNabb, rush coming, gets rid of it. Wide open, Roydell Williams. Big gainer for Williams into Houston territory. So the former Tennessee Titan signed as a free agent.
Well, when you're a veteran such as this man, Donovan McNabb, you feel the pressure. You trust your receiver's going to get there right up the middle. He's got 2 guys right in his face, Ryan Denny and Mecco Ryans, but great throw over the middle. Roydell Williams will take it. That's his first catch of the year. They're getting McNabb now over 300 yards passing.
He is at 318 on the day. We've got 4 minutes to go in the 3rd. Washington up 20-10. bootleg. McNabb stops and throws. Separation. Chris Cooley. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. What an offensive exhibition this has been. Donovan McNabb and the Redskins.
Well, he's comfortable with the offense, I think, right now. We're seeing, again, a play-action pass, wide open tight end, but McNabb spreading it around, sharing the wealth, leading by example, taking his team down the end of the field, put it in the end zone.
Redskins extend 27-10. 9 plays, 92 yards for Washington. It's McNabb to Cooley, and that combination could be huge for the Redskins here in 2010. Chris Cooley told us in OTAs he knew it was going to be different. When linebackers used to be on his hip in the past, he never saw the ball. Now, the ball's just there from Donovan McNabb.
And Xavier Adibi was that linebacker, but he was nowhere near the hip of Chris Cooley. Great route by Cooley, great play-action fake by McNabb. And this young secondary, the Texans, is being toasted.
Graham Gano kicks it off. And Steve Slayton's going to take it out of the end zone. Slayton through the hole and driven down at the 22-yard line by H.B. Blades. Chris Cooley, he grew up a huge Denver Broncos fan. Well, now he's living it in real life with Mike Shanahan.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by New Degree Men Adventure and by State Farm. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com.
Washington with a 27-10 lead over Houston, 3:45 to go in this third quarter. Donovan McNabb, 28th career 300-yard game. He's at 340 yards on the day, and Houston is in a deep hole. First and 10 from the 22. Schaub throws. Andre Johnson able to haul it in, and he's got the first down to the 35. Let's go back to the touchdown, Dan.
Well, here's Chris Cooley on the line of scrimmage here with the play action away. The linebackers and the safety are going to go that way, and then Cooley finally will get inside of Adibi, pushes him to the side, and then outraces him to get this beautiful pass from McNabb.
What did Chris Cooley tell us? I could either be the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, or I could have no catches in this game. I have no idea how this one's going to go.
Well, I got news for him. I think it may be his quarterback.
Play fake. Schaub, he's got the time, slings, good hands there by Kevin Walter. He gets hit after the catch out near midfield by LaRon Landry. It's another Houston first down. That one covers 14 yards.
You know, one of the things, getting back to McNabb, he's distributed the ball to 8 different receivers, but also Roydell Williams, Joey Galloway, and Fred Davis all caught their first pass of the season this afternoon. Williams for 34, Galloway for 62, and Davis for 62. Big plays, the focus today for the Redskins in the passing game.
First and 10 for Houston. The running game was the storyline last week for the Texans. Not the case here today in Landover, Maryland. Rush coming. Schaub able to get rid of it over the middle. Andre Johnson. Look how many Redskin players were there. 4 players surrounding Johnson as he took the hit. Next Sunday, doubleheader day, NFL on CBS. Early, Tennessee visiting the Giants. Other regional action as well. Game 2, the Colts at the Broncos or San Diego at Seattle. It all begins live at noon Eastern. James Brown and company on the NFL Today. Reed Doughty is down on the play for Washington after the hit on Andre Johnson. We'll step aside.
Reed Doughty's going to get hit by his own man as he's trying to make the tackle on Andre Johnson. Looks like he got a double shot right to the ribs. So that means Chris Horton will be in the game to take his place. Remember, Kareem Moore inactive today.
Schaub off play action. Looking downfield. He throws it upstairs and caught by Johnson. Flag thrown.
They're going to say Johnson went out of bounds and came back in. Johnson's going to say, I was forced out of bounds. We'll see how the officials interpret this. Once the flag is thrown, that designates that he was out of bounds. Comes back in first to touch the ball. That's a penalty if he wasn't forced out.
Illegal touching of a forward pass. Offense. Receiver went out of bounds and came back in first to touch. 5-yard penalty. Still second yet.
Oh, and to add insult to injury here, Andre Johnson is limping off after D'Angelo Hall was there in coverage.
This is a good play by Hall because he forces him to step out right there. And now the big question for the Texans is how hurt is Andre Johnson?
Well, Johnson heads to the Houston sideline, asking for a replacement. First penalty against Houston today. That nullifies a 23-yard pass play. It's Walter, Anderson, and Jacoby Jones in at wide receiver. On a 2nd and 12, Schaub flushed out of the pocket and hit from behind. He could not break free. Brian Orakpo. 4th sack of the day for this Washington D.
Orakpo has just too much speed for Schaub to get away. This isn't Schaub's strength. From the right side of the screen, you can see how Orakpo just goes all the way around Dwayne Brown. Brown doing a good job, but once Schaub does not step up in the pocket and starts to run to the outside, easy play for Orakpo. 4th sack so far for the Skins.
Orakpo, a Houston native. He was a Texans fan. Obviously, that's changed considerably. Arian Foster, catch and run. First down and more. Arian Foster downfield, and he'll be forced down as he takes it inside the 10 by LaRon Landry.
That's just a great call by Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison with the blitz on. Once the catch is made by Foster, number 23, there's just nobody in front. 2 men out in front, Myers and Wade. Myers all the way down the field to get a block on Landry there. Great call by Kubiak and Dennison.
And it covers 50 yards. Arian Foster. 1st and goal for Houston. Slayton in the backfield. Schaub, bootleg, throwing. Touchdown, Kevin Walter. The Texans in rally mode here late stages of the 3rd quarter.
And that's those last 2 plays without Andre Johnson on the field. It's another bootleg as Walter comes back into the formation and then sneaks out. Schaub gives him a perfect pass. Easy job by Walter to cut up inside, get across that goal line for the score.
They are checking on Andre Johnson, the right foot. Matt Schaub, 24 of 29, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. 7 plays, 78 yards. Rackers the extra point. And Houston within 10 to end the 3rd quarter. We'll return to Landover after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. A 50-yard reception for Arian Foster, the key on that drive. Kevin Walter, the touchdown from Schaub. 27-17. Washington leading Houston as we start play in the 4th quarter. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. Tape job for Andre Johnson on that right ankle. Rackers kicks it off. And this will be Westbrook allowing it to bounce into the end zone. He'll take a knee, and Washington will have it at the 20. Coming up Wednesday on Showtime. JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp return. It's cable's longest-running show, the multi-award-winning Inside the NFL. Every Wednesday on Showtime.
Pretty good day if you're a quarterback here in Landover. McNabb with 340 yards, and now Schaub just shy of 300. But we'll see if the Texans defensively can find an answer to stopping this passing attack of Washington's.
And Johnson ready to put that shoe on the right foot. Larry Johnson is in for Washington, trying to double back the other way, and a bad move. Glover Quinn sniffed it out. Loss of 10 on the play for Washington.
Yeah, that type of move works in Pop Warner and in high school, but not ever going to work here in the NFL. Good penetration by the Redskins by the Texans on the outside. Quinn got across the line, and then just a bad decision by Larry Johnson. Huge loss of 10.
The Washington Redskins have 3 yards rushing here today. And now they're going to try Keelan Williams in the backfield. Cooley goes in motion. Rush coming. McNabb able to get rid of it to Williams. But there's nothing there. And Donovan was just fortunate that he was able to release the football. Earl Mitchell, another rookie out of Arizona, met Williams. Antonio Smith supplied the heat on McNabb right off the snap.
I wonder what's wrong with Clinton Portis. We've seen Larry Johnson in the game, and then on a long, that's Keelan Williams in.
Now Portis was dealing with a wrist injury, but no indication that that's the issue right now, although he's going through some testing right now. Can he hold on to the football?
Yeah, that's that wrist that he hurt. Does not have his helmet, so that's not a good sign.
Here's McNabb on a short drop slant. And the timing was off with Joey Galloway. Washington with a very brief 3 and out.
Boy, and that drive at the end of the third quarter and the subsequent touchdown has given new life to the Houston Texans. They're feeling good about themselves. They know one thing. They're going to get very good field position after this Bidwell punt.
Josh Bidwell, 34-year-old, now in his 11th year in the league out of Oregon. I think he was a freshman when you were a senior guy.
I don't think so.
Jacoby Jones from the 38. And Jones turns it upfield into Washington territory. Penalty marker thrown back at the 44-yard line of Houston. Washington pointing in the direction of the Texans on that 17-yard return.
Jesse Nading trying to make a block, made a block in the back. And that good field position is going to be negated by that penalty.
4 penalties against Washington.
Return. Illegal block in the back. Number 72 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It is Nading's second penalty against Houston. 10-point lead for the Redskins. It's a right ankle injury for Andre Johnson, and it just headed to the Texans locker room. So Houston trailing 27-17 early in this fourth quarter. They got the football on their own 34-yard line. Shaw, play fake. Shaw, deep ball. It's Walter. Kevin Walter, another big play for Houston. He beats Carlos Rogers into Redskins territory.
Well, somebody's got to pick up the slack for Johnson being in the locker room, and it's Walter. That's his 7th catch. He's now over 100 yards receiving. And this is an easy pitch and catch. No pressure. Nice tight spiral inside the corner there. Rogers, big play for the Texans.
Schaub is now 25 of 29. He has 331 yards. Mixing in the running game. Foster slips. Could not remain upright. Give him a gain of 1 on the play. Arian Foster, 13 carries, 47 yards. He does have 2 catches for 64 yards, including that 50-yard reception on the last possession of the third quarter.
You know, once they get into field goal range, then you start thinking about, well, we're down by 10. Do we take the field goal now, or we go for the touchdown? So there's a lot of time and a lot of football left to be played, but these are things that are going through the mind of Gary Kubiak right now.
On a 2nd and 9. Kubiak going up against his mentor, Mike Shanahan. Shaw throwing. And it's Kevin Walter again. Walter with a 5-yard reception out near the 25. Philip Buchanan with the stick. Mike Shanahan in his 17th year as a head coach in the NFL. Spent 14 years with Denver, 2 Super Bowls. Gary Kubiak coached under Mike Shanahan in Denver for 11 years. Shanahan said, I'm the reason why Gary Kubiak decided to become a pro coach. He was at Texas A&M. He was happy. I convinced him to go out to San Francisco and serve as a quarterback coach. 3rd and 4. Shotgun for Shaw. High throw, and Jacoby Jones can't handle it. Doughty there defensively, and this drive hits a snag for Houston.
A little bit off target. That's twice now that Schaub and Jacoby Jones have not been able to connect. Difficult catch, this one and the one earlier, but one that Jacoby Jones had both hands on, and I'm sure he'd tell you, man, I should have had that.
43-yard attempt now for Neil Rackers. He missed from 47. He later redeemed himself with a 47-yarder. Matt Turk will hold it, the punter. John Weeks is the snapper. 43-yard attempt. Rackers. He knocks it through. 27-20, Washington leads with 11:10 to play in the fourth quarter. Houston has been able to sneak back into this one. It's a 7-point differential in the fourth.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. It's a sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Bank of America. And by KFC. Football fans, today is the day you double down. So good.
Redskins 27, Texans 20. Andre Johnson went to the locker room with a right ankle injury, and now he is back on the field, or at least on the sideline for Houston. Texans kicking off. Neil Rackers with Devin Thomas deep. Westbrook in front of him. Short kick handled by Sellers. And Sellers is brought down short of the 40-yard line. Donovan McNabb, 341 yards passing. He's back on the field when we come back. The good news for Washington, they put up 337 yards of offense. The negative, 334 yards have come through the air. Only 3 rushing yards here today for Washington. 2 touchdowns, though, on the ground for Clinton Portis. It's Keelan Williams in the game, and he'll line up as a receiver. 1st and 10 for the Redskins from the 37. McNabb throws on the out route. He's got Anthony Armstrong. Armstrong with a first down, and he bangs his way into Houston territory, hit by Eugene Wilson, 17 yards. NFL Today update. Let's go to New York and JB.
The New York Jets have moved out in front of the Patriots 21-14. Key play on that drive, this 31-yard run by LaDainian Tomlinson. 9 carries for 70 yards in the game. That led to a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Jets out in front by a touchdown. Back to Ian and Dan.
LT still got something left in those legs. Jets leading the Patriots. Here it's Washington over Houston, 27-20. McNabb, play fake. Protection holds up. McNabb throws. Tight spiral to Joey Galloway. And he brings it in inside the 30 of the Texans.
Another big pass play for McNabb, and that's been the story of the passing attack so far for the Redskins. This 62-yarder to Joey Galloway, his first catch of the season. How about Fred Davis, 62 yards, his first catch of the season. And, of course, Chris Cooley, the tight end, got loose from 22 yards out and got in the end zone. McNabb continues to have the hot hand on this drive, a perfect 3 for 3.
McNabb has passed Johnny Unitas for career completions, 18th most in NFL history. Wow. On first down, Clinton Portis is back in, and Portis runs into a crowd just short of the 25-yard line, hit by Frank Okam. Remember, for Houston, they lost Connor Barwin last week. Dislocated right ankle, had surgery on Wednesday. He's out for the season. Defensive end, very important part of their defensive line rotation. So they're going with Jesse Nading. They signed Ryan Denny this week as well, the former Buffalo Bill. And they signed Wally Agunlie, who is inactive today, the former Dolphin and Bear. 2nd and 8 for Washington. Portis remains in there. And it is Portis getting the call. Portis has got the angle on the first down.
That's a great sign for Redskins fans to see a first down on the ground as Portis gets the corner here. Good block on the perimeter by both wide receivers, Moss and Armstrong. And that got Portis to the corner, to the first down, and out of bounds.
12-yard gain for Clinton Portis. They are obliterating their yardage total from a week ago when they got the win over Dallas. 1st and 10 inside the 15. Portis up the gut, and Portis sliding through for a 5-yard pickup.
Boy, this the passing attack of the Redskins has demoralized this Texan football team. McNabb has thrown the ball, gone back to pass 28 times today. He's been sacked just once. and really hasn't been pressured other than that one time he went down. And now the offensive line getting a forward push on this defensive line of the Texans. And it's all but time to salt this one away.
Kyle Shanahan spent the last 4 years coaching with the Texans, too, as offensive coordinator. Portis busting it to the outside. Could not remain on his feet. And it's going to be very close, but short of a first down. They give him a gain of 4 on the play. 3rd and 1 now for Washington.
That would have been an interesting tug of war there if Portis had been able to stay on his feet, because Bernard Pollard was closing on him. He's a very physical safety. But as it was, Portis went down short of the first down.
They need a yard. Movement up front. And flags come flying from every direction.
False start, 77 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And it was on that right side. Jamal Brown, the former New Orleans Saint who went to the Pro Bowl in 2006.
You get the idea that they were going to run the ball behind Jamal Brown? Watch 77 get off here. He's the 3rd guy in from the bottom of the screen. He was ready to go. Fred Davis says, I'll go with you too. So will Chris Cooley.
Back it up, though, to the 10-yard line and a 3rd and 6 now.
And this is where McNabb is so good, though. He's so disciplined throwing in the red zone. Throws very few interceptions.
Shotgun. McNabb throwing. Almost picked off. Eugene Wilson got a hand on it.
Like I said, very few interceptions. Incomplete pass.
The announcer jinx from Dan Fouts.
Well,
Jesse Nading was there as well defensively.
Yeah, this is one that Wilson's going to think about for a long time, and so is Nading. How about that hustle by Nading? Stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Not sure where this ball was intended.
D'Amico Ryans came firing through with the pressure. Houston had to hold Washington to a field goal attempt, and they do. A 29-yard attempt for Graham Gano, the 23-year-old. It's blocked. Knocked down. Gano could not get flight. That is immense for Houston's special teams and for Gary Kubiak.
Bernard Pollard came off the corner, stuck out his left hand, dove, got his left hand on the ball, and he gives the Texans new life.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network, and by the new action comedy Red, in theaters October 15th.
Washington with a 27-20 lead over Houston. We've got 6:36 to go in the 4th. Bernard Pollard blocks a Graham Gano field goal attempt to keep the differential at 7. Schaub is sacked. London Fletcher, the veteran. Number 5 on the day for the Washington defense.
And 31.5 now for Fletcher from John Carroll University, and Schaub had no shot. Again, it's a creative blitz called by Jim Haslett, and Fletcher just flew in there. Big play for the Redskin defense.
Now, what did Fletcher tell us the other day? I love the aggressiveness of this defense and Haslett. It puts our playmakers in a position to make plays.
Haslett used to play just like that, all out, all the time.
Andre Johnson back on the field. Schaub throwing out of his own end zone. Arian Foster makes a man miss. And Foster forced towards the sideline by Reed Doughty.
Great play by Bernard Pollard on this block. Watch him outside here. Number 86 is tight end Fred Davis. He doesn't get a big enough chip on Pollard. Doesn't touch him hardly at all, and the left hand was enough to block it off the foot of Gano.
Let's see what this Houston team can do with it. First block field goal since 2007 for the Texans. And now their offense faces up 3rd and 13. You see Johnson, he's on the left side, bottom of your screen. 3 receivers set. From the gun, Schaub steps up. And unable to make the connection to Arian Foster. The Texans are forced to punt after going 3 and out. 5:13 to play in this 4th quarter.
And very conservative play call. Redskins will get the ball with good field position. The Texans feeling a lot of time left. They still have 3 timeouts to work with. They're hoping that their defense can slow down McNabb and this Redskin offense.
Matt Turk, now in his 15th year, was a Pro Bowler with the Redskins back in the 90s, 96, 97, 98. The punt. And it takes a roll off to the side. Excellent field position for Washington. It's a 39-yard punt for Turk. Coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, a little island with a big secret. It's a hotbed for producing NFL stars. How? The answer is on 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. As nightfall begins to hit here in Landover, Maryland.
How about the pressure that Haslett's been able to bring on Matt Schaub today? He's been sacked 5 times. The end of the first half, it was LaRon Landry with the safety blitz that gave him trouble. And this latest sack by London Fletcher absolutely demoralized the Texans.
The Redskins switch to the 3-4 defense is paying off. Play fake and a bootleg. McNabb setting it up. And throws it on a line to Mike Sellers. Sellers was involved in the act early. And now in the 4th quarter gets another catch. Glover Quinn with the coverage. It's a 5-yard pickup.
And good coverage by Quinn. But McNabb has so much confidence, number one, in his own abilities, his own right arm, but also in Sellers to make the catch with a lighter, smaller defensive back right on his back.
Offense today, plenty of it. Washington with 400 total yards. Houston with 374. And the Redskins using clock here, down to 4:22 and counting left in the 4th quarter. On the end around, that fooled nobody. Santana Moss just got stamped by Bernard Pollard of Houston.
Bernard Pollard came into our meeting yesterday wearing a T-shirt that said "Yak Yak." I asked him what that meant. He says, we get these T-shirts from our defensive back coach for big hits. Well, you've just blocked a field goal, and now you drop Santana Moss for a big loss. Yak Yak.
And a loss of 8. Pollard could get 6 T-shirts out of his performance today. 3rd and 13 now for Washington. Big stand here defensively for Houston. Play clock is down to 2. McNabb straight back. Very deep drop. Throwing the home run ball. He's got a man. Incomplete. He overthrew Joey Galloway.
Yeah, you can't blame McNabb too much. He threw it about 70 yards. Galloway was way behind the secondary. This ball was just a beautiful spiral. In fact, it just went about 3 inches too far for Galloway, as you can see, in the end zone, and a disappointed QB.
And that would have been the knockout punch. Bidwell, the punter. Jacoby Jones from the 16. And Jones turns it upfield. Jacoby Jones emerging. Big return for Jones, hit by Chris Horton on special teams.
There's a flag down, though, as the Redskins are celebrating. This big return's going to come back.
46-yard return. And what a turn of events this will be once we hear from Jeff Triplett.
Daryl Sharpton with the block in the back.
Rookie out of Miami, number 51.
Turn the return. Holding. Number 29 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well,
yeah, they called Glover Quinn, but we saw that Sharpton had a block in the back on Fred Davis. He got away with that, but Quinn did not. And you talk about just a knife. Great return by Jones. Here's the block in the back right here. This is the one that actually gets Jones down the sidelines. How the officials missed that. They saw something else on the outside. Yeah, there was Quinn right here working against Westbrook.
Well, Dan, remember last week as well, Washington benefited from a penalty at the end of the game and won the game over Dallas. Schaub throws and broken up, trying to hit Andre Johnson. He would have taken it the distance. Reed Doughty colliding with LaRon Landry in coverage.
And both Redskins are shaken up. Remember, Dowdy came out of the game with sore ribs earlier, and now Landry is having trouble gathering himself.
And Landry will now walk off on his own to the sideline.
We got to find out which sideline. It's over here. As he's in real pain, though. You know, there's moments of truth that happen in every football game, and this is a great example of guys absolutely not giving a hoot about their own body, just trying to make a play on the ball.
He's flexing that left hand. Remember, they're very thin at safety. Yeah, Landry just full extension. And Dowdy was back there as well. 3:10 to play in the fourth quarter.
Dowdy had the best shot at picking that one off. Remember, Andre Johnson is playing with a bad ankle. He looked pretty good on that play, getting down the middle.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. Redskins fans fired up here at FedEx Field. 88,240 on hand. That is 353 consecutive sellouts.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
And Washington will be charged the timeout. That's so that they can bring Landry back into the game. And coming up tonight on CBS, it begins with 60 Minutes, followed by back-to-back episodes of Undercover Boss and then CSI Miami. That's tonight on CBS. Redskins 27, Texans 20 with 3:10 to go. And Houston will be facing a 2nd and 10 after that incomplete ball. Schaub was trying to hit Andre Johnson, and if Johnson caught it, Dan,
gone, absolutely, yep. Because both players were going for the ball. They weren't playing the field.
Landry is back out there at safety for Washington. Shotgun. Schaub sets, fires in stride. Incomplete. Owen Daniels, the intended target. London Fletcher. Very tight coverage from the linebacker.
Outstanding coverage by London Fletcher. The pressure on Schaub, but he could step up into it, and then he gets drilled by McIntosh right in the back. Legal hit by McIntosh, but how about Fletcher running stride for stride with Owen Daniels down the middle of the field? Great play.
Houston does have 3 timeouts remaining and the 2-minute warning. If they come up empty here, they're staring at a punt and asking their defense to stop Washington again. 3:05 to play. Schaub from the gun. Fires, and it's Johnson. Andre Johnson with a first down for Houston. And a spin move out near midfield. That's the 10th catch of the day for Johnson and number 600 for his career.
And just such an important play to give his team a chance to stay in this ball game. Look at the hands. I mean, you just don't reach up and catch a fastball like that when you're running full speed in traffic, in coverage. 29 yards on the play for the great number 80.
The speed and strength of Andre Johnson. Houston has just used a timeout to stop the clock with 2:51, and they just tack on 2 seconds. 2:53 remaining in the fourth.
We talk about all the tangibles that the great wide receivers have, and obviously he has the size, the speed, the hands. He's showing his toughness today. He sprained his ankle in the 3rd quarter, went to the locker room to get it treated, and now comes out and makes a huge play on 3rd down.
Passing game was quiet last week for Houston. They didn't need it because they dominated on the ground. Johnson had only 3 catches for 33 yards a week ago. 5 receiver set. Schaub standing in the pocket, now forced out. Little dump off for Jacoby Jones, and Jones has got speed after the catch. First down for Houston inside the Washington 35. That one covers 18 yards.
And now getting right to the line of scrimmage, not giving the Redskins a chance to catch their breath. Schaub is getting good time to throw. That was a good job by Jones to find an open spot.
Over 800 yards of combined offense here today. Schaub, shotgun. Tight space. Owen Daniels in a matchup with the Pro Bowler London Fletcher. And it's incomplete.
If I'm Matt Schaub now, I'm going to just take my time. We've got over 2 minutes to go in the game. He's got 2 timeouts to work with. There's really no sense of urgency now. Make sure you get the play called right. Everybody get lined up right. And give your linemen a chance to catch their breath, too.
Last week it was Dallas driving down the field with a chance to win the game, as opposed to Houston right now down by 7, just looking for the tie. 2:20 remaining. Schaub, that ball was tipped. Incomplete.
And just like last week, the guy that made the play was Brian Arakpo. He deflected this ball, and this ball is almost interception. This is what he did last week.
Final play of the game, Romo hits Roy Williams for the touchdown. It's nullified because of this. Alex Barron called on the offensive holding against Arakpo. Arakpo said it was like a Ric Flair WWE old-fashioned move on him. Jim Haslett's defense trying to hold on. 2:17 remaining. Washington up by 7. 3rd and 10 for Houston. Schaub off his back foot, up in the air, and broken up. Phillip Buchanan getting back there against David Anderson.
Boy, we have just seen some great play defensively today. Here's another one. Buchanan running stride for stride with Anderson, got his left hand on it. Boy, I tell you what, that could be a penalty for hitting a defenseless receiver at the end of that, as Anderson was just drilled out of bounds, but great play by number 31, Phillip Buchanan.
It was LaRon Landry with that hit, and now Houston facing a 4th down. Play clock is down to 1. Here comes the rush. Schaub steps up. Schaub throwing on the move, up in the air. It's caught by Johnson. Touchdown, Houston. What a play. A jump ball. Andre Johnson wins one-on-one matchups every time.
Was there any doubt in anybody's mind he was going to catch it? He had Dowdy, and he was measuring this ball. There's no doubt in my mind that Schaub was going to go to him. You go to your best player. You let him make a great play. Andre Johnson's done this so many times for the Texans. Out jumps Reed Dowdy for a huge touchdown.
Matt Schaub keeping the play alive, stepping up in the pocket and finding his go-to guy, Andre Johnson. Houston is an extra point away from tying this one up at 27. Rackers tax it on. 2:03 remaining. We are even. Schaub with 421 yards passing. 27-27.
11th catch of the day for Andre Johnson, 154 yards. And right now, he knows it's coming his way. This is the old alley-oop play to R.C. Owens from Y.A. Tittle. Johnson at 6'3", Dowdy at 6'1". Beautiful.
Andre Johnson. And Matt Schaub took a major hit right at the end of that play.
Yeah, Lorenzo Alexander, but Schaub did see his main man make the catch before he hit the turf. Great play, both by Schaub and by Andre Johnson. This is on 4th and 10. This is the ball game. If he doesn't catch it, if Schaub doesn't get it off, game is over.
It's a new career high for Matt Schaub. 421 yards, high five for Gary Kubiak. Along that Houston sideline, 7 plays, 81 yards, blood dripping from his right elbow. Andre Johnson, another all-world effort, and now it will come down to the Washington offense and Donovan McNabb. Rackers kicking off. Devin Thomas. And Thomas is trampled as he crossed the 30-yard line. 22-yard return. We've hit the 2-minute warning. 1:58 left. McNabb trying to lead the Redskins to victory. Redskins kicker Graham Gano in his first year out of Florida State replaced Sean Sweezum as the Redskins kicker.
And you know what he's thinking right now? Come on, Donovan. Give me a touchdown, Donovan.
Well, the target line, if you look at the numbers, is the 31-yard line. Gano hit a 49-yard field goal last week. McNabb, he has done this so often throughout his career, now in his 12th year in the NFL. And here we go. McNabb throwing on first down to Keelan Williams. And Williams able to get out of bounds. Strong effort. No, he didn't.
How do they keep the clock rolling? He was definitely out of bounds.
It's a 3-yard gain, and the clock is moving. 1:40 left.
That's it. I'm not sure what the official saw. He was out of bounds, and they keep the clock rolling.
From the 35-yard line, McNabb in trouble, and McNabb is sacked. Mario Williams, it's his second of the day. 1:20 left. Remember, Houston has 2 timeouts remaining, so Washington has to be careful now, moving in the wrong direction.
Well, there's no question about it. And now it's up to Mike Shanahan as to how he wants to play this. As that was a heck of a bull rush that time by Mario Williams. He just pushed the young rookie Trent Williams right back into Donovan McNabb, and McNabb frustrated. He couldn't get away.
And Trent Williams is down.
This is amazing to me that we go back to this previous play. Keelan Williams landed out of bounds. How do you say he's in bounds?
What about that right knee?
But the ball is already out of bounds. I mean, it's where the ball is when the knee hits, isn't it? Although if you ask Calvin Johnson, I'm sure he would be confused as well.
That is something that could be very costly because it changed the whole approach of the next play, which McNabb got sacked on.
And now you got to be concerned about his left tackle, the young Trent Williams. And will he be able to continue? Behind Williams is Stephon Heyer, a third-year player out of Maryland.
It is the left leg that they're working on for Trent Williams. Stephon Heyer, in his 4th year from Maryland, would step in there. Mike Shanahan had such high praise for Trent Williams in our meeting. We asked about him. He said, look, you can tell already this guy is a Pro Bowler. He reminded me so much of Ryan Clady. And I knew Clady was a Pro Bowler from the first time I saw him at OTAs. We'll take a break. Back in Landover, Maryland, for those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The game between the Texans and the Redskins tied at 27. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. 60 Minutes will be seen immediately after this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Trent Williams helped off the field for Washington. Houston has scored 17 unanswered points to tie this game at 27 and 27 with 1:20 left. McNabb on a 3rd and 20. Throwing. It's caught. Santana Moss has got a first down for Washington. He went up high to get it.
Flag down, holding against the Redskins.
10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is right. That's what 91,000 just said when they saw the flag.
And guess who? The man that stepped in for Trent Williams, Stephon Heyer.
Working against Antonio Smith, number 94, who's a darn good pass rusher himself. And there's the hold. It's that wrap around the neck. What a throw, though, by McNabb. I mean, that's a 40-yard throw on a line to Moss, all for nothing.
And it looked like a facsimile
yes,
of what we saw a week ago with Alex Barron and Brian Orakpo when Washington benefited. On a 3rd and 30 now for the Redskins. They'll go conservative. Toss out for Santana Moss, and he's brought down. .101 to play. Washington and Houston tied at 27. The Redskins go 3 and out on this important possession, and they're going to have to give it back to the Houston Texans with plenty of time left on the clock. How did we get here? Donovan McNabb put on a show in the first half. A long pass to his tight end, Fred Davis. That led to a Portis touchdown. He was forced out of the 1. Another touchdown, McNabb to Cooley. Houston comes from behind here in the 4th quarter. Schaub to Andre Johnson, who left the game with a right ankle injury, comes back to tie this one up at 27 apiece. Bidwell punting. Jacoby Jones is the return man, standing at his own 32-yard line. He'll backpedal to the 28. 52-yard punt, and Jones is forced out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. With 49 seconds to play, Byron Westbrook getting down the field on special teams for Washington.
Neil Rackers has a 55-yard field goal as his career. So that means to get to that distance, the Texans must get to the 37-yard line of the Redskins. They have just one timeout and just 49 seconds to do that. If I'm the Redskins, I'm going to double, I'm going to triple team number 80, Andre Johnson. Something they didn't do on 4th and 10 moments ago, and it cost them big time.
1st and 10 for Houston. And Schaub throwing. Over the middle, Andre Johnson, and a modest gain on 1st down of 4. As Dan mentioned, just one timeout remaining. They have to work the clock here. 37 seconds left. This game tied at 27. A 2nd and 6 for the Texans.
Taking a lot of time to get this play off.
Schaub out of the gun. There's no sense of urgency here for Houston. And knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It's Vonnie Holiday, the veteran, now in his 13th year.
Yeah, it's almost as if the Houston Texans saw they weren't going to get a long punt return out of Jacoby Jones. They've gone conservative with a short pass on 1st down. That was going to be another short pass on 2nd down. And now they've got to be concerned about this play on 3rd. They certainly don't want to give the Redskins the ball back or have to get into punt formation and risk a blocked punt.
21 seconds remaining here in the 4th. On a 3rd and 6. It's Arian Foster. And Foster is forced out of bounds short of a 1st down. No, he was inbounds again.
Well,
the call is made.
Redskins has used a timeout here. I'm
6
not sure
seconds.
the Redskins realized that he was inbounds. Now they call time.
Well, time has run out on the clock. Mike Shanahan taking a peek at the clock right now. Take a look at the knee of Foster. Was he down? He was. It's the right call by the officials. He did not get to the sideline. So the clock continued to roll. Rocky McIntosh there to make the play for Washington. They'll put 3 seconds back on the clock.
And that's huge for Washington. Matt Turk has had 3 punts blocked in his long career. His last punt was a very poor one. We haven't had a whole lot of punting today, have we, Ryan?
No. We've had a whole lot of offense. 463 yards for Houston, 390 for Washington.
McNabb has only thrown 8 incompletions. Schaub has only thrown 11. Whole lot of yards, whole lot of completions. And a lot of pressure now on Matt Turk to just get this ball gone.
Why do you even have to punt it here?
That's true. He could just take the snap and
run around
and take a knee.
And I think Houston just used its final timeout to discuss exactly that.
Well, Joe Marciano, their special teams coach, just got in the ear of Gary Kubiak, and Kubiak called the time to gather his troops and talk about the situation.
There's no reason to punt right now for Matt Turk and the Houston Texans. Take the snap cleanly and then run around for a second or two. It's the end of regulation. Heads up coaching from Joe Marciano. No timeouts remaining. 3 seconds left on the clock. On 4th down. And that's exactly what Turk will do. 2 seconds, 1 second, and he goes down at the 9-yard line.
He looked like a punter running around, didn't he?
Oh, that was pure speed.
Well, that's when you don't want speed. You want slow there to take time off the clock.
Then he fit the bill.
Heads up play by the Texans coaching staff, Joe Marciano and Gary Kubiak, realizing with just 3 seconds they don't even have to attempt a punt here.
And that's the end of regulation here in Landover, Maryland. Houston and Washington tied at 27. We are headed to overtime. Washington led 27-10. Last play of the third quarter, Houston gets a touchdown to cut into that Washington lead, and they continued their rally into the fourth quarter. Captains come out for the coin toss from Jeff Triplett.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to the overtime period. Timing rule will be 15 minutes in length. Timing rules in the fourth period apply. Each team will have 2 timeouts. You'll have all replays will be done by the booths. There's the coin, the head, the tails. Head or the tails?
Tails.
Tails is the call. Tails is the call.
Back. Boom. Yeah! We want the ball.
You want the football. That's where you want to kick. Okay.
Go, you 5.
Houston won the toss. We'll receive.
So the Texans will get the football to open up overtime when we come back to FedEx Field. Redskins and Texans tied at 27. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, rest of our CBS crew. 27-27, Washington and Houston headed to overtime. What's the mindset here for the Houston Texans getting the football first?
Well, I think that they should go back to their original game plan and think about getting the ball to Arian Foster. You don't have to score in a hurry here. You got a lot of time. Just move the chains. Foster has got 14 carries on the ground for 51 yards. He's caught another 3 passes for 69 yards. And right now, the Redskins will be looking for the passing game. They'll be looking for Andre Johnson. It's time for the Texans offensive line to gain control as they did last week against Indianapolis and get Foster rolling.
The Texans have never won an overtime game in their franchise history, 0-6. Graham Gano kicks it off to start overtime. Steve Slayton, the return man. Slayton along the sideline, and he is met, driven backwards as the Redskins come firing out on special teams.
That is 2 great kickoffs for Graham Gano. Remember earlier when Slayton caught the ball, stepped out the 1-yard line? That time he stayed in bounds, but he was pinned against the sidelines, and the great coverage by the Skins. And this is a horrible place to start your overtime, backed up in your own end of the field.
Line of scrimmage will be the 12-yard line for Houston. See what the Texans did to get back into it. They scored the last 17 points of regulation. Foster in the backfield with Leach on a 1st and 10 from the 12 for the Texans. Fake the handoff. Schaub to throw it. And Schaub makes the connection to Kevin Walter. What a huge day Walter has had in coverage there. Carlos Rogers. That's a 15-yard pass and catch.
Both Johnson and Walter way over 100 yards receiving today. That's 9 now for Walter for 128. And he paid the price after making that catch, but faking the ball to Foster brought the linebackers up and opened up the area behind them to Walter.
Meanwhile, Andre Johnson has gone for 12 catches, 158 yards. Again, play fake. Look at the room in front of Schaub to work with. On the bootleg throwing, sideline, and it is a clean catch made by Kevin Walter.
That's the word they use to describe Walter is he does all the dirty work. Well, this is dirty work right here. Along the sidelines, making the catch and absorbing the hit from D'Angelo Hall. It's a pretty good 1-2 combination for the Texans with Walter and the explosive Johnson.
22 receptions between the two of them. Schaub has 448 yards passing, a career high. Here's the ground game with Foster. Arian Foster spins his way through the hole and takes it to the 45-yard line. A first down. That's a 10-yard run for Foster, the AFC Player of the Week last week. Neil Rackers, career long of 55 yards. He did that back in 2004.
Need about 20 yards to get him to that spot.
Line of scrimmage is the 45. Houston on the move. First possession of overtime. Owen Daniels, the motion man. It's Foster staying on his feet. Good hard running from Foster to pick up 6. Kedrick Golston there for the stop for Washington.
You know, the old adage used to be you set up the pass by running the ball. Well, the Texans have turned that around on this drive, and most of the day they're setting up the run by throwing the ball. And the two-play actions on first and second down, and now a couple of strong runs by Foster, and it's got to be nervous time now for McNabb and the Redskins.
2nd and 4, inching closer to that target line for Neil Rackers. Foster remains in the backfield. Schaub to put it in the air. High throw. It's handled by Walter. Great concentration. He brings it in against Carlos Rogers for another Houston first down into Washington territory. It covers 9 yards.
And about 5 yards closer to the target line now for the Houston Texans and Neil Rackers. Speaking of field goals, how big now when you look back on Bernard Pollard's blocked field goal of Graham Gano.
Play of the game right now, looking back on it. 1st and 10 at the Washington 40. To the ground, Foster. Redskins players were digging for that football. Vonnie Holliday, first man to greet him. Give him a gain of a yard, yard and a half, depending on the spot.
Yeah, and Holliday really had his left hand, number 91 here. Watch as he fights off through this double team. Watch as he's trying to strip the ball along with Brian Arakpo. Foster knows how important that ball is. He doesn't want to have that reputation of fumbling the ball.
It was Pollard who blocked that field goal attempt in the 4th quarter to keep Houston alive. Now the Texans with an opportunity to win this game in overtime. On a 2nd and 9, Schaub pump. Schaub in trouble. Schaub gets rid of it. Vontae Leach, the fullback. And Leach is able to create after the catch. Well, that could have been a disaster for Houston. It turns into a 4-yard gain as Holliday and Hall combine to bring him down.
But that's the thing about Schaub, is he doesn't see the rush. He feels it. He moves slightly in the pocket, sees his outlet, keeps his focus down the field. Not about the guys that are trying to tackle him. Keeping poised in the pocket. That was as good a play as he's made all day.
Right now, they're looking at about a 52, 53-yard field goal attempt. Trying to convert on a 3rd and 4. First possession of OT. Schaub faked the pitch. Rolling. Schaub throwing on the move. Andre Johnson in double coverage. It's incomplete. Houston and Washington tied at 27. 4th down for the Texans in overtime. Neil Rackers has a career long of 55 yards on his resume back in 2004. And Rackers is not putting on his helmet. Right now, it would be about a 53-yard attempt.
Wow.
They're going to punt it.
I can't believe this. I mean, don't you have confidence in your kicker? Yeah, you could say if you miss, you got great field position, but if you make it, you go home. Delay a game. That's a moot point now.
So some indecision.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And Garrett Kubiak is going to trust his defense to keep his team in it. Boy, a 3rd and 4 for Houston. Unable to convert. And instead of attempting a 53-yard field goal, it's Matt Turk, the punter, on the field trying to pin Washington deep in its own territory here in overtime. Turk, the former Redskin. Buchanan back deep. And Turk plants this one in the end zone. It's coming back to the 20. A net punt of 19 yards. Washington led this game 27-10, but in the second half, Houston came storming back. Matt Schaub connecting with Walter. Schaub then on a scramble and touchdown to Johnson to tie this one up.
That scramble and touchdown to Johnson came on a 4th down and 10. And Johnson was the only receiver on that side of the field. Schaub going to his main man. Saw the single coverage by Reed Dowdy and just threw the old alley-oop.
I think it's safe to say Donovan McNabb knows the overtime rule. You'd agree?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sudden death. 1st and 10. Fake the handoff. McNabb steps up. McNabb, pressure from behind, and he is dumped. Flags thrown. Williams and Okoye there defensively.
Antonio Smith is going to get called for this late hit on the quarterback.
Personal foul. Number 94 in the defense. Led with his head, goes down player. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh, what a sequence here for the Houston Texans. And Washington will get the football at the 33-yard line.
Well, McNabb searching for a receiver. Just a three-man rush by the Texans. The sack by Mario Williams and the penalty leading with the helmet into the back of Donovan McNabb gives the Redskins a free 15.
Tied at 27, will hit the 10-minute mark of overtime. Washington with a football. McNabb short drop. And a hard throw to Santana Moss. 12-yard hookup. First down for Washington. Don't forget, 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its normally scheduled time. Washington now on the move at the 45-yard line. McNabb has cracked 400 yards passing. He's at 405. McNabb looking so comfortable out there as he hits Chris Cooley into Houston territory. They're trying to set this one up for the first-year kicker, Graham Gano. Career long, he hit it last week. 49 yards in the win over Dallas. Line of scrimmage is now the 48-yard line of Houston. They need about 13, 14 more yards to get into Gano territory. McNabb fires. He's got Moss. Santana Moss curling it upfield for extra yardage. They are inside the Houston 40.
Another bullet from McNabb. Another fine catch by Moss. Watch how high he's got to go to catch this one. In the fingertips. And now he's so dangerous after the catch. McNabb getting time to throw. That's 10 catches now for Santana Moss.
And the line of scrimmage is the 37. A helpless feeling now for Matt Schaub and the Texans offense. It's Washington in control. 8:10 to play in overtime. First down. McNabb's pass is smacked down at the line of scrimmage by Mario Williams. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Washington. Don't forget, coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by back-to-back episodes of Undercover Boss, and then CSI Miami, all tonight, only CBS. Graham Gano won the Lou Groza Award as the nation's top kicker in 2008 from Florida State. He kicked in the UFL.
Is that the UFL?
That is the UFL. 2nd and 10 for Washington. McNabb from the gun. On a sideline pass, he connects with the rookie Keelan Williams out of LSU. Zach Dials, the linebacker there, and they pick up 3 yards on the pass play.
Artis Hicks, the right guard for the Redskins, came up limping after that pass play, flexing his left leg.
Right now, it would be a 52-yard field goal attempt for Gano. And Washington with a 3rd and 7. In overtime, 7.5 to play, tied at 27. Williams stays in there for the Redskins. McNabb to throw. McNabb, timing play, up in the air, and too high for Moss. What do you do if you're Washington? Same situation that Gary Kubiak just faced, except it's on the other side of the field. The same exact spot, Dan. 52-yard field goal attempt. Does Mike Shanahan send out Graham Gano?
Yes, he does. Remember, if he misses it, there's going to be great field position. Here's the block from earlier today. Bernard Pollard with the left hand. Blocked a shorter try. This is a real long try for Graham Gano.
First-year kicker. And a timeout taken. Gano drilled it.
Houston called time before they snapped the ball.
Houston, their first of the overtime period. It's a 30-second timeout.
Well, I hate that. There ought to be a rule about icing the kicker and giving at least 5 seconds or so. Boy, he drilled it, though. He's all smiles right now. This one went through from about a good 53. It cleared it by a mile. That would have gone from 63 maybe.
And Kubiak taking that timeout. He had a plan, knew exactly what he wanted to do. Gano will get an opportunity to be the hero. Redskins looking for the win. 52-yard attempt for Graham Gano. From 52 yards away, Gano, it's no good! Pushed off to the right. Gary Kubiak calling the timeout, negating the previous field goal try, and the Texans still alive in overtime.
Usually you hit your mulligan better than you hit your first one, don't you? That's twice now that we've seen field goals slide off to the right. This one, no pressure at all. He just flat missed it. And now, great field position for Schaub and the Texans.
We saw Gary Kubiak make the decision on offense not to put Neil Rackers in a position to kick the long field goal. Shanahan trusted his first-year kicker, and look where the Texans have the football. A 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. 7:12 to play in OT. Schaub with a deep drop. Hit as he throws. It's incomplete. LaRon Landry has played at an all-pro level here tonight.
And you know what he's been able to do is he kind of hides in behind the defensive line, looks like a running back, and then slides through. Here he comes right here. Watch him try to find this hole here. Gets right in the back of Schaub with great explosion and causes that incompletion. That's another great blitz by LaRon Landry.
Don't forget, 60 minutes coming up. Immediately following our coverage here on the East Coast. Toss to Jacoby Jones, and Jones picks up a yard on the play. Washington very aggressive defensively under new defensive coordinator Jim Haslett.
And LaRon Landry is down in the backfield of the Texans. He might just be totally exhausted.
He had 17 tackles last week. And he has been all over the place here today for the Redskins. 3rd and 9 coming up for Houston. He was having trouble with that left hand earlier.
Now it makes you wonder what the target line is now for Graham Gano, or rather for Neil Rackers. Here's Landry. He's just tired, it seems, making plays in the secondary and rushing the passer. But you know, you maybe they need 25, maybe 30 yards before Kubiak is comfortable with giving Rackers a long try.
Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by back-to-back episodes, Undercover Boss, then CSI Miami. It's all here, only CBS. And Landry appears to be okay. Again, they were looking at that left wrist, and he will head to the Washington sideline. Rackers never even got the opportunity to put on his helmet on the last possession, as Gary Kubiak elected to trust his defense to stop Washington. Redskins had a 52-yard field goal attempt. Gano connected on his first try, but Kubiak took a timeout. And then on the next attempt, he pushed it off to the right. This is a 3rd and 9 for Matt Schaub, who has 463 yards through the air. Flags are down. Schaub on a pass for Arian Foster. Foster staying on his feet, and he spins his way out near first down yardage, but not quite enough. He'll come up just short, but a penalty marker as mentioned.
It certainly looked like the Redskins were moving early into the neutral zone. Whether they were drawn off or not, I don't think so.
Now
looks like it might be number 48, Chris Horton.
They're going to get nailed here on a penalty. Triplett just pointed in the Redskins' direction. Houston reacted.
Well, here it would be 4th and 1 or 3rd down and about 3
before giving the option for the penalty.
Now that explains that.
A measurement to see if he got the first down. He did not. So you're looking at 4th and less than half a yard, or 3rd and about 4.
Well, Gary Kubiak's had to make a lot of decisions today.
Offside. Washington, number 48. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Boy, with just inches to go on 4th down, that's tempting to refuse that penalty, take the play. But Kubiak wants maybe to have 2 more plays because it is 3rd down.
And remember, that was Chris Horton that just slid in for LaRon Landry, who went to the sideline with an injury.
And Landry remains on the sideline. Horton remains in the game. Horton was coming on a blitz just as Landry had been doing.
We'll call it a 3rd and 4 for the Texans. In overtime, tied at 27. Out near midfield. Shaw pumps, throws. Receiver fell down. Jacoby Jones, and he brings it in for a first down.
Right in front of Mike Shanahan, and Shanahan was yelling that he did not catch this ball. But this is a great replay as he had his hands underneath the ball. That is a good catch by Jacoby Jones, and a gigantic first down for the Texans. They're going to take a look at this one, but if they see what we just saw, they could not overturn that.
So it will be under review whether or not Jacoby Jones brought that ball in cleanly. Here's another look at it.
He had both hands under the ball, and then he had his right hand definitely under the ball at the end of the play. Certainly doesn't look like it hits the ground there. He has his hands underneath the ball. You see the right arm right there cradling that ball.
Looks like a clean catch.
Remember, this cannot be a challenge. They just showed a picture on the replay board here at the stadium. It looked like it was incomplete. The 91,000 are cheering that, but it doesn't matter what they say. It matters what Jeff Triplett says.
The fans just reacted here at FedEx Field. Is that ball moving is the only question, Dan. Did he secure it? Boy, what a huge play here. And there is where the ball is out, and that's what the fans just reacted to.
I'm not sure his right hand's not under it, though. See the blue glove there? You can see it almost his index finger. I think his hand is underneath that ball.
And remember, the ball was called a clean catch out on the field. So there has to be definitive evidence. Jeff Triplett with the announcement.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch.
Well, 90,000 officials are not going to change the opinion of Jeff Triplett. And Dan Fouts, you were all over it from the very start.
Well, I'm kind of biased towards the offense, I got to admit.
Really?
I kind of like quarterbacks throwing for 469 and 426, Schaub and McNabb, respectively.
So this drive keeps going for Houston. Firing downfield, high throw, and it's caught. Joel Dreesen getting involved on offense. The tight end hauls it in, and now Houston is in business. Matt Schaub has been tremendous here today.
First catch of the afternoon for Dreesen, and how big is that?
He dropped it in the bucket for Dreesen, 28 yards.
And 3 yards shy of 500 now for Schaub. Well within field goal range now for Neil Rackers.
Now you're looking at a 36-yard field goal.
We're reviewing the previous play.
They're going to take a look at Joel Dreesen, whether this was a clean catch.
Remember, this is not a challenge. All reviews in overtime are ordered by the replay booth upstairs.
And the goal, of course, is just to get it right. So a couple of stoppages here.
You know, again, remember, LaRon Landry on the sidelines. And Schaub going after his replacement, Chris Horton. Do not see the ball come loose there. Tough to see with his back to us. Here's a good shot of it, though. What an effort to go up and get this ball. It certainly looked like he had it all the way.
Joel Dreesen. He started 11 games last season because of the injury to Owen Daniels, the torn ACL. And Dreesen gets his number called in overtime. And it could turn out to be the play that sets up the game-winning field goal for Houston. So Jeff Triplett will take a look at what you're seeing right now. Joel Dreesen getting upstairs and hauling that ball in.
Well, there are going to be some defensive backs that are going to sleep well tonight, and a few receivers as well. Ball in the air a lot today, a lot of great effort. And Dreesen knows he made that catch, telling everybody on the sidelines, I had it.
Well, there is no doubt that the officials are being extra cautious, making sure that they check on everything. Previous play was called a clean catch on the field to Jones. They took a look at that. The fans here disagreed when they saw the replay on these brand new HD screens inside FedEx Field. And now on this play, back-to-back, Joel Dreesen.
And a decision time now for Gary Kubiak. Do I bring out the field goal team now? And it would be a smart idea to do it now because the crowd is totally out of it. This stadium is quiet. It would be a field goal.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
It'd be just a 36-yard field goal try. And you really, I think that's the play to make right now. End this one right now. Don't risk a fumble. Don't risk an interception, although I'm sure that Arian Foster is going to have the ball in his hands from now on. Maybe they want to move the ball to the middle of the field.
1st and 10 for Houston. They are inside the Washington 20. Under 5 minutes to go in overtime. Handoff to Foster. And Foster dives forward, securing the football. No gain on the play, getting back to the line of scrimmage. So right now they're looking at a 36, 37-yard field goal.
Yeah, and really, you saw the way that Foster held on to that ball. He's not going to try and get to the end zone because he would risk the ball being away from his body and potentially fumbling.
We'll have 60 minutes next, except on the West Coast where it will air at its regularly scheduled time. 2nd and 10. Foster again going down, and Foster picks up 2 as he was able to lunge forward once he was on the ground, and now no more chances.
Well, obviously, Neil Rackers wants the ball on the right hash mark, and I think that's smart. That way you can aim at the right upright and just bring the ball right between the posts.
Dan, you know that Gary Kubiak used the timeout when Gano went out there. We'll see now if Shanahan uses a timeout trying to ice Neil Rackers, the veteran. 35-yard attempt.
Shanahan's not near an official to call timeout.
Turk will hold it. Weeks the snapper. For the win from 35 yards away. He's got it. The Houston Texans come from behind and shock the Redskins in overtime. 30-27. Houston wins it. First victory in franchise history in OT. Matt Schaub, 497 yards passing. And Rackers knocks it through from 35 yards out for the W. Gary Kubiak against his mentor, Mike Shanahan, and it's Kubiak and the Texans coming out with the win. Final score, 30-27 in overtime. The Texans rally for the win. For Dan Fouts, the rest of our crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Landover, Maryland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.